social media. We'll get you out of here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. That's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's our live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and at Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, with this, Chris Ruffolo. It's Wednesdays with Mitch, Ninos, Rod Zawacky. We got Millz Young with appearance here on Wednesday. Wayne Scott, Big Eye McMordie. Dana Lane will sign in later in the hour. All right, here's how they'll line up for this evening. Ruffolo, Mitch, McMordie, Scott, Ninos, Zawacky, Lane, Young, and then I will close this one up. A full boat here on the show today. A lot's going on in the NBA College Hoops. Couple from the ice, so let's get this one underway with a full guest list. Let's welcome in Chris Ruffolo. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs. Catch him in the mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern Time with that morning show with Mitch and Rod Zawacky. Also, the video series, it is the Puck Dogs with Chris and Rod Zawacky with their NHL videos for you here every day when there's games scheduled. So we'll get Chris in right now. Ready to roll with Chris. Chris, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. Just another day. These college hoops cards keep getting bigger and bigger, but all of a sudden we'll blink and Selection Sunday will be here before we know it. So that's all right. I'm loving my Monday, or excuse me, my Monday. See, I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. My Wednesdays. I love making my appearance on the drive-thru, so I'm ready to get started.
Absolutely. Ready to appearance here on the drive-thru. Big Ten Network. This one starts here bottom of the hour, so keep an eye on this one. Michigan here hosting Nebraska. Michigan lane 11, total 138.
Yeah, and I'll keep it short and sweet so that we can make sure that everybody gets this one in. I'm on Michigan in this one. Michigan big. I mean, Nebraska. It's a Nebraska team that, yeah, they had some solid performances earlier on in the season. They kept things close against teams like Memphis. They have respectable showings. They beat Creighton on the road. They beat Boston College at home out of conference. But you put this Nebraska team in conference, they haven't been able to carry their act out onto the road. They got the nice win over Penn State in their last meeting, or their last game at home, I should say. But on the road, 16-point loss at Illinois, a 19-point loss at Maryland, an 11-point loss at Penn State, an 18-point loss at Purdue. Their lone conference win on the road at bottom feeder Minnesota. Prior to that, an 18-point loss to Michigan State. We haven't seen the best, I think, of Michigan this season. It's been what I would say is a disappointing Michigan team, especially basically since the calendar turned to 2023. I think this is a great spot for Michigan. I don't know how Nebraska is going to be able to slow Michigan down on the road. They haven't been able to do anything on the road up to this point. Outside of that win over Minnesota, I'm not going to back them to start doing it here. I'm going to take Michigan laying the points.
All right, we got Chris here on Michigan lay the 11 here against Nebraska, and of course, this is a Michigan team here. It's 13-10 overall, 7-5 in conference. They did play rather good. I think I would say that their non-conference games were against Arizona State, Virginia, Kentucky, North Carolina. So I'm just wondering here. These are games you got to win here if you're Michigan. You don't want to get in that. You don't want to get in that bubble talk.
No, not at all. And I'm just trying to actually pull up their resume, see where they're at. They're actually ranked. They have a net rating right now is 70, so they are nowhere close to even the first four out or even the next four out conversation. They need to get some wins. They need to keep putting the pressure on, especially have a deep run in the Big Ten tournament if they're going to have any hopes of making an at-large bid. And right now, it honestly looks like winning the Big Ten tournament is going to be their only way into the tournament, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, Michigan, it's been kind of a disappointment here. 13-10 overall, 7-5 in conference. They got to start gathering up. Well, it's still time to do so. You still have about 8 games, but these are games you've got to have, and you want to make sure you make a good showing here. Bottom of the hour, Michigan lay the 11 against Nebraska. It's that time of the year, guys. I don't know. I'm not a big bracket guy, but when you're underperforming like Michigan, you cannot afford letdowns in these games. There's no letdown spots at all, I don't think.
Yeah, Tony, not just to quickly add to one more thing. Michigan 2-8 in quad one wins this season. So against the good teams, they've struggled. And when those numbers are what you're comparing teams to whether they're going to get into the tournament or not, you can't afford to have any slip ups. And like I said, 2-8 is just not going to cut it. So Michigan were to slip up here, I think they could probably kiss their big dance dreams goodbye without a conference tournament win.
Yeah, just as they scheduled here, A and B's. This is the weakest. This is the weakest opponent left on Michigan's schedule as we see it right now. Chris here on the favorite here, Michigan lane 11 against Nebraska. This one will have a start time here of 6:30 Eastern time. All right, Chris, let's go over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action. Of course, we do have NBA on the board. Nice card from the NBA college hoops. A few from the ice. You see, Chris has been fire on the NHL. 2,248 units of profit. That is all documented over at Pick Dogs Premium, so you can verify those numbers when you go over to Chris's handicapper page and go down to the bottom where it says pick history. So what do you have going on over at the site?
I'll tell you, I got a couple things on the go tonight. I got my NHL Power Play on the board, my $15 play for the day, as well as a 5-pack from the hardwood. I got 4 college hoops plays and 1 NBA play tossed into a 5-pack for $50. But this is the time that we always talk about going long term. It's been a rough couple days, but you know what? It's you got to take the bad days to appreciate the good ones. And I think we're the good days are on the horizon. That 3-day pass will get you into a loaded college basketball card on Saturday. Getting it this time on Saturday. Excuse me, I might have my Super Bowl play tossed in as well. The 7-day pass will get you the Super Bowl play without question. So will the 30-day and even the yearly. The longer you go long term, the better the value is. So definitely check that out at Pick Dogs Premium, whether it's just with me or someone else, part of the 2-for-1 capper promotion.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Chris Ruffolo over at Pick Dogs Premium. Get on board. You see how hot he's been here in the NHL, so it's a good time to get on board with him. May consider the place for today. He's got his Wednesday Power Play NHL up there, $15. That is a credit guarantee. You must turn a profit or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account for site credits. That is a credit guarantee. 5-point swing, college basketball, NBA. 5-pack up there on the board as well. And as Chris was mentioning, once you go long-term with Chris, you can go with the 1-month all sports pass. Horribly priced. Get all of Chris's premium plays for a month. Includes all his NBA, NHL, as well as college basketball. Remember, the college basketball will take you well into the first week of March, so you get the remainder of the major conference play, as well as some of the minor conference tournament action there, as that 1-month pass will cover that here for 30 days, as well as the Super Bowl pick. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. Add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Chris, as always, great having you on the show. See that success. We'll talk with you again next week, but we catch on the mornings with Mitch and Ron. Of course, your video series relaunches here after the All-Star break, the Puck Dogs with you and Ron.
Yeah, Rod and I doing the Puck Dogs videos every day. We've got 7 videos coming up for tomorrow, a loaded card on Saturday. So it's, like I said, it's just something that you want to check out. You know, we're giving free picks every single day and love doing the morning show. I know some changes are coming to it sooner rather than later, but still, love what I'm doing at Pick Dogs and hoping to keep it going, giving everybody winners, especially with those free pick videos. Exactly.
Check them out, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications so when the live show's on or when those videos drop, you get them right away. Get the best numbers. All right, Chris, have a great week, and we'll talk with you again next week.
Sounds good, Tony. Take it easy.
You got it. Chris Ruffolo here on the drive to. Let's continue on here on the show, guys. So up next, we're going to bring in Mitch. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, catch him in the mornings every day here at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Also, the 7 picks in 5 minutes. Also, the bidding tools as well. Mitch, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. Just getting ready for tonight's action. We got a awesome card. I mean, before 7 o'clock, we have a full slate of games. So it's just one of those great nights of college hoops and, of course, NBA and only 2 NHL games, which I appreciate.
Yeah, we got one tipping off right now with Hofstra in action with our Eastern. So lots happening today. Afternoon basketball. We like it. Tonight, ESPN2 has this one between Alabama and Florida here. Alabama here laying 9.5, total 149.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one because I believe in the second half of this game I'll be able to catch up on some of my DVR shows that come out on Wednesday night, like Married at First Sight, and I also like to watch that MTV Challenge series. So because I believe this game will be blowout city by then and an afterthought. Alabama at home, the last time we saw them, won by about 60, not quite 60, but 57. Against Vandy, and of course that was coming off of that loss against Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is actually just a very similar style to Florida, and I think that that game might have been a good wake-up call for the Tide because I thought Alabama was the much more athletic team in that game. They just never got off the bus, and Oklahoma jumped on top of them. So I think Alabama going to be all business tonight against this Florida team. And as much as it's a big game for Florida to beat Alabama, in an SEC rivalry type game, it's just as big a deal for Alabama to beat Florida. So they're probably equally as up for this one. I expect the Tide to come out gangbusters and absolutely blow Florida out of the gym. We haven't seen Florida too good in these step-up road games. They did get the home win against Tennessee. I think if they played 10 games at home against Tennessee, that would be their one win that they would get. I think that this Florida team has just been a mound of disappointment for the better part of the season. A team that was loaded with some, Florida type talent, and just really has failed to perform. 13-10 on the season. Yeah, they showed up at Rupp Arena. They were, and depending on where you got the line, you got it at 5, you pushed. If you got it 4.5 and you had Florida, you lost. If you had Kentucky, you won. We know Big Al McMordie gave it out at 5, but almost everyone that bought his picks got it at 4.5. And of course, that was one of his pushes on this 17-1-2 Saturday that he had over at Pick Dogs, which was one of the best days I've ever seen in my entire handicapping career, and then some. But outside of that, I just think that Alabama just too athletic, too tough, and I think they're going to be too motivated. And what we see from Florida is anytime they have any kind of run of anything positive over the course of the game, they forget that there's a whole rest of the game left to be played. They start celebrating and ass slapping like they've already won. And normally that just incites the other team. We saw that in the Xavier game, especially when the Xavier guys were chomping late in the fourth quarter, doing the Gator chomp after Florida had kind of rubbed their face in it when they had come back and tied the game. I just think that, you still got to drain the swamp there in Florida to get rid of that old attitude and get, down to that hard-nosed style for Golden to have success, because that's what he did at San Francisco. The chip on their shoulder, was his style. And it's like, we're not good enough. We haven't been in the tournament. People talk more about us not being in the tournament for so long than us actually having a good team. And it's like, they talk more about Bill Russell going to San Francisco than they talk about San Francisco. But at Florida, I mean, these guys, they'll be living off that Tennessee win till the cows come home. They're not going anywhere. They're going to get whooped in Tuscaloosa tonight.
All right, we got Mitch here says go ahead and take Alabama, lay the points here against Florida. Yeah, Florida's a team that I was watching that game and again I had laid the 5 in that one, right? So I'm thinking, all right, this is a blowout. But they showed something. They showed something to me at the end. I mean, they made me. I had a tough time. I was having dinner. I was in my country having dinner.
They really wanted that back door.
And
really
I mean, I was looking at it. I said, I'm home, and I said, oh no, I can't eat right now. I got a nice steak in front of me. I got to watch the end of this game. I thought it was one of those rocking chair covers, but they made my food go cold.
Yeah, I think that was more of a statement about Kentucky than anything that Florida did positively.
Although they have covered, they've had some success covering though. This is the cover. This is getting to 11, winning by 11, 12. So you look at a blowout. Even though Florida's kind of hung in games here, the cover.
Yeah, we've seen Florida cover a bunch on the road, but all good things must come to an end. Just like the books will lengthen things out on a favorite that covers a lot. They'll do the same thing to a dog on the other side of things. I just expect Alabama to come out here and turn this one into a laugher. I could see 20 points plus.
How much better is Alabama than the rest of the SEC? I guess that's probably better.
I think what we've seen from the SEC, if Arkansas was healthy, that would be a different story, but they're just not. I think Kentucky probably still haven't seen the best of them yet. And I think Tennessee, that's probably the SEC tournament final right there, is Tennessee versus Alabama. I think you can pretty much pencil it in. And, Alabama's going to have to try and score more than 50 points off Tennessee, which has been, certainly no gimme. That 46-43 game against Auburn. I mean, I think the football game was higher scoring in Tennessee-Auburn this season.
Yeah, can they shoot good enough, right? Where I'm seeing a lot of 37%, 37, 38, 59, 45. Percent shooting there for LMO. See if they get that shooting percentage up. Maybe they won't need it because Florida, we know, horrible shooting team, no doubt.
Florida just runs too hot and cold, and I think that, like I said, they don't have the killer instinct. And it's like in these conference games, we're starting to see teams, especially at home, really getting it done. Yes, and of course, a top seed in play as well. I mean, I know I think it's sometimes overrated. Sometimes you get that top 4 seed, and then you're going to be positioned pretty nice in the tournament location wise. Yeah, I went through this on one of my videos the other day, and I'm not really sure which one it was, but I always believe that the seeding only matters in the first round of the tournament, and I don't even think in a lot of cases there it helps you much, and especially these days when there's so much parity. Because when you start looking at, at the teams, so, if you just look at the top 32, like in the POM rankings and better, Duke, Miami, North Carolina, it's like are in that bunch there. So it's like being a number 1 seed, great. You get to play against one of the finalists from last year that has kind of underperformed so far this season. Good luck. You know,
sometimes
here's Baycott and Love and everybody else. It's like that's congratulations on your fine season and your number 1 seed.
Or sometimes those 8 and 9 seeds can be a little tricky too when they either through seeding or injury, right? Teams land at that 8 or 9.
Since they moved to the 4 play-in games, the 2 play-in teams of that aren't the 16 seeds, those teams generally are pretty tough too. And generally teams that have made a run. We saw UCLA go to the Final Four from there a few years ago. We saw VCU go to the Final Four from there. As well. So those teams generally are really, really tough, and having that game under your belt after everyone's had a week off, it kind of seems to help them.
USC had a good run. Wasn't Elite 8? USC I think did as well one year.
Yeah, that same year, I believe.
Yeah, USC.
UCLA.
That's right. Alabama laying 9.5 here against Florida. This one at 9 Eastern Time, ESPN2. All right, Mitch, let everybody know what's going over at Pick Dog Sports Chat Place here. Of course, we're heading to a Super Bowl, so people will be hanging out, checking out the picks. I know the NFL show with you, Big Al and Jay, and of course, what else is happening over on the sites?
Well, we've got we got something for everyone. We have tons of free picks. Of course, we still have our free pick write-ups at sportschatplace.com, pickdogs.com. We have our betting tools at sportschatplace.com. We have betting tools at pickdogs.com. We have free videos, including this show, 5 days a week. We have our morning show 7 days a week. We have Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We have Jay's Jam Session video. We have my 7 free picks in just 5 minutes. We've got Al Ninos and Wayne Scott doing a prop parlay. Jovan usually throws in a parlay as well, and Chris Ruffolo, I don't know how he does that many videos. And then with I guess I do because I've done it before, and Rod Zawacky also doing the Puck Dogs videos with NHL. So we have more free stuff than ever before, and our premium cappers, I believe, are better than they've ever been too. So whether you want free, premium, freemium, whatever the heck you guys want, and if you don't find it yet, let me know. We'll find it for you. That's about it.
All right, Mitch, as always, great having you show. Have yourself a great week. Make it a good Super Bowl week, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Thanks, Tony. Enjoy the big game, everyone. Remember, it's just a game. It pays the same as that Hampton. Who are they playing tonight? Hampton is playing. I mean, this could be the worst game I've ever seen on the board. Hampton is playing. It is. I saw this one in the live show.
It just reminds me, isn't it so much better to cover this instead of being part of that Radio Row talking about the Super Bowl for 2 weeks nonstop? That's got to be the worst thing.
Oh, it'd be terrible. It's Hampton is playing Towson. That should be a real gem tonight.
Towson.
Anything, but it's like we were talking about it this morning on the live show. It's like the conversation is like, let's join the Colonial. You're Hampton. It's like, whose idea was this?
Yes, exactly. No doubt. Just like Belmont joining the Missouri Valley.
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
Whose idea was this? But, I think they'll come out on the other side better in the end.
Yeah.
But, it might be some growing pains. But,
true.
All right, thanks, everyone. Got a whole slew of handicappers coming up. We got a full house at the drive-thru tonight.
We do. It's a full one. We got to keep the rope moving here. All right, Mitch, have a great night. Mitch here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Big Al McMordie. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Pinboy. Did you see the results he had over the weekend? Outstanding. Big Al, what's happening?
Oh, not much. How's my favorite handicapper doing, Tony?
Oh, you?
No.
I'm joking. I'm kidding. That's a joke. I'm doing great. Thanks, Al. All right, man. Just a monster weekend for Big Al. That big Saturday he had from college hoops. But here we go. We got to continue on right now. Now the expectation's even higher.
Yeah, right? Well, as I always joke with you, it's what have you done for me lately? No one gives a shit what I did last Saturday.
That's exactly right. No doubt about that. Here we go, 9 Eastern on the plus. We got Loyal Chicago here hosting St. Joseph's. I believe St. Joseph's is the favorite in this one, right? In this game.
Loyal is favored by 4
Yeah.
against St. Joe's. This is a rematch of a game back on January 14th. The Ramblers were blown out in Philadelphia by 31 points, 86-55. But Loyola, that was time where they weren't playing very well. They were in the midst of a 7-game losing streak. They had lost all 7 games ATS. They're playing better now. They're on a 3-1 ATS run. And for this game, what's important to me is that Loyola has a really strong home court. They've won 40 of their last 46 games straight up at home. And when you get a team playing with revenge, and like Loyola is, they lost by 31. So when you get a team playing with revenge from a 30-point or worse defeat, and if they've got a strong home court where they've won 33 or more of their previous 40 games, they've covered the spread 62% the last 33 years. So that bodes well for the Ramblers here. The other thing I like about Loyola is that historically they've been really good when playing with revenge from a loss earlier in the season. They're 42-20 with 2 pushes ATS their last 64 in that role, including 9-1 ATS if they failed to cover the spread in the previous meeting by 14 or more points. So I'm going to take Loyola here and lay the 4 points.
All right, lay the 4 points here with Loyola Chicago here against St. Joseph. Here, lay the 4 in this one here in this 8-10 battle, or in this battle tonight. So Big Al, we're looking here at these teams, mid majors, as we head into the mid part of conference season. I think we had discussion here before against. I know based on your database, how much do you take into account some of these seedings, these rankings, these bubble teams? Is that something that enters your mind, or something you don't really care about? Because you hear that a lot. You hear that about, right? The must win, the bubbles, and that we hear a lot of bubble talk this time of the year.
Yeah, I mean, every handicapper is different. I mean, as I was joking with Mitch, on our NFL podcast we did today, like I don't even care about the players, So, some handicappers, that's all they care about are the players. Everyone's different. I don't really care about where a team is in its seeding. I mean, Jesus, if a team is on the bubble, now they're going to win, when they haven't won the whole season. And, if you think they're going to be incentivized to do better just because they're, they need to win. I mean, that doesn't really make too much of a difference to me. But I do things differently than most people. So,
yeah, because you hear with a lot, we're hearing a lot of these sports betting shows are starting to pick up here. A lot of these U.S.-based sports books now provide media content. They hire people to run them. So you're going to hear a lot of this talk here about must win and the seeding that seems to get into it. But for people that are just tuning in, Big Al, you're basically, based on your results come based on your database, years of database.
Yeah,
right?
and like in the NFL, I'm more apt to take a team that I am more apt to go against a team in a must-win situation in the NFL than actually bet on them. But that's just how I'm wired, So everyone does things a little bit differently.
Wow, someone in the chat just chimed in, says Big Al's right now 28-4-2 in your last 32 premium plays over at Pick Dogs. Pretty impressive there. Big Al here, Loyola Chicago, lay the 4 here against St. Joe's. This one have a start time here of 9 Eastern time. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action. As we see here over the past 7 days, outstanding results, 2,600 units of profit, all document over at Pick Dogs. Tonight we have a couple on the ice. We have some NHL and NBA. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, a lot of stuff. I've got, we did our NFL podcast today, Mitch and Jay and I. We all give out our side selection for the Super Bowl for free. Here at Pick Dogs, we give out a lot of great free content, so don't miss that podcast we did. It's on the archive. For the season on the podcast, I was 169 and 122 with some pushes, so did pretty well. I've got the NFL total of the years, my favorite total of this season for the Super Bowl that's not free. That's over at Pick Dogs if folks want to get on board. I've got a conference favorite of the month tonight in college basketball. I've got an NBA high roller play, college basketball elite info play, and a triple pack as well. So 6 plays in all, as that one person just mentioned, 28 and 4 with 2 pushes the last 34. So decent run, and we'll keep it going tonight.
That's right. So again, I work with Big Al McMordie over at Pick Dogs Premium. 2,600 units of profit last 7 days. Document over at Pick Dogs Premium. Verify that by going to Big Al's handicapper page. Go down to Pick History. You'll see it there. Big Al's conference favorite of the month is up on the board right now. NFL total of the year, ready for the Super Bowl. Premium play up there right now from Big Al. Get on board with it. Also in action with a triple pack here from NCAA Hoops, as well as NBA High Roller. Instead of buying all these plays individually, you may just consider Big Al's 1 month all sports pass. Get all of Big Al's premium plays here for 1 month, including that Super Bowl pick he has up there right now, as well as college basketball, NBA, NHL, and of course college basketball. This will take you right into the first week of March. We'll get some minor tournament action in there as well, end of the major conference as well here from the big schools. So get that 1 month pass. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. You can also add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Big Al, as always, great having you on the show. We'll tune into the NFL show with you, Mitch, and Jay that you just put up a few hours ago. So we'll catch you up there and continue that success. So we'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow and Thursday. Thanks, Tony.
You got a Big Al McMordie here on the drive through. Guys, we've seen a lot of people sign in. As expected, when Big Al's segment, they'd be chiming in. So we will recap the plays at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive-through. It's now time to welcome in Wayne Scott. You'll find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Catch his video series with Ninos as they put together a prop three-legged parlay every single day here on the Pick Dogs YouTube channel. So let's bring in Wayne. Wayne, how's it going today?
What's going on, Tony T?
It's going great. All right, here we go. Tonight, 7:40 Eastern Time. Heat here at home against the Pacers. The Heat laying 7, total 223.
Yeah, we got the Pacers and the Heat. Both of these teams are coming off some days off, as you would think. Pacers being the younger team, they're coming off 2 days off, and Miami has coming off 3 days off. Miami with 2 to 3 days off. They are 2-7 ATS. Miami with the rest advantage. Like I said, they're coming off 3 days when the Pacers coming off 2. They're 3-8 ATS with the rest advantage, so this rest advantage is not helping them. Pacers, on the other hand, with the rest disadvantage, they're 9-6 ATS, and off of 2 days rest, the Pacers are 7-2 ATS. Pacers are coming off a home game stretch where they are 2-1. They lost their last time out against the Cavs. They beat the Kings on a tough one, and they lost a close one to the Lakers. They're coming back in the form. They got the star players back rolling, and they're coming at the teams with a lot of guards. We got Andre Nembhard, Buddy Hill, T.J. McCollum, Benedict. All these guys are coming off shooting three well. They're running at these teams with a lot of guards. We got Miami Heat. They're coming off a tough loss last game against the Bucks, and they had a tough game before that against the Knicks. They're struggling to score still, even at home on the home court where they play a little bit better. They tend to play down to their competition, and they're missing a lot of players right now. So even though they got their star player and they're still competing to stay in this playoff hunt, it's hard to do when you're missing that many players. So I'm going to be on the Pacers in the first half on this one. The Heat, they're also 0-3 in the first half in their last 3 in the first half. The Pacers aren't too better at 1-2, but I'll take the points, and I like the Pacers in the first half on this one.
Pacers are half, plus 3.5 here against the Heat. Looking at the injury report, Indiana with a clean injury report. Miami, well, it's been like this parts of the season where they had a lot of players out. Key one here is Lowry. Lowry out. Oladipo, when he saw some time, did give the team a little boost off the bench. He's out. Robinson, your 7, has been out all season. Jovic's been out a lot. But again, we're still kind of waiting to see this Indiana team that we saw before the Halliburton injury, right? That's something we're looking for. When is that form where they started pounding teams? They started putting up some points. When is that coming back?
Hey man, if it's not back tonight, I think they get close to it. They've been in some tough games. So like I said, they lost a close one to the Lakers. They beat the Kings, and they got blown out last by the Cavs. But they're bringing it back together. It's gonna take a quick second when you're dealing with them injuries and you're coming back with guys, but it shouldn't take them long. Definitely shouldn't take them long to get back right.
A clean injury report for the Pacers here. Pacers first half plus 3.5 against the Heat. This one will have a start time here of 7:40 Eastern time. All right, Wayne, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight, showing positive results here in the NHL as he joins us here, coming off that tournament win or that contest win over at the that Mitch had on Instagram. That's how Wayne was able to join the team here at Pick Dogs, and right away a video series with Ninos. So tonight, college hoops on the board, a few from the ice, 9-game NBA card as well. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
At Pick Dogs today, I got 5 picks in college basketball and 2 of my best bets in NBA. I got my favorite bet in NBA out there on the site right now. And out of those 5 games in college basketball, I packed up 3-pack for y'all. Make it rain, Wayne Wednesdays, and I'm planning to win all 3 of those. So let's go. My last college basketball pack was 2-1, and the one before that was 3-0. So trying to get back rolling in college basketball. Reading this board good, and I really like my plays for the night.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Wayne Scott over at Pick Dogs. Premium is college basketball. Make it rain Wednesday. It's a 3-pack up there, so get on board with that right now over at Pick Dogs. Premium. Also, NBA Game of the Day. That's his $15 premium up there. Credit guarantee. You must turn a profit. The amount you purchase is credit back in your account for site credits. That is the profit guarantee. The long-term passes will serve you well. You can get on board with the Wayne 7-Day All-Sports Pass. Get all of Wayne's premium plays for 7 days. That's all his NBA, his college basketball, NHL, as well as the NFL. The Super Bowl on Sunday, that is part of the 7-Day All-Sports Pass. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. You can add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Wayne, as always, great having the show. Continue that success. All right, we can catch you here every day with the video series. It's you and El Ninos. You put together a 3-legged prop parlay video of the day.
Yes, sir. The thing plus 2,000 today, so check it out, man.
Woo! I like that. All right. Like the sound of that one. All right, Wayne. Good luck with it tonight. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Tony. I'll take care today.
You got it. Wayne Scott here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here, guys. A reminder, if you missed a pick, we'll recap at the end of the show. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Wayne's partner on that video series is up next, and that's El Ninos. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium with that part of the video series with Wayne Scott, as we talked about in the previous segment. I think we'll be ready to bring in El Ninos here right now. We got him over in the Skype world. Let's see if we can find him in right now. Let's get El Ninos ready to roll here in the Skype world. El, what's happening?
Going pretty good. How you doing, Tony?
Doing great. Here we go. 7:40 Eastern Time. The Raptors. No one traded as of yet. I know there's a lot of trade talk going on. This is the week, right? Tomorrow is the big day, right? We're fun to find out. Of course, the LeBron. Usually the trading deadline makes all the news, but I think we still have a little bit of after effect from the LeBron scoring title. So it kind of took a little. The trading deadline kind of took a little backseat to things that happened here last night. But anyway. We know tomorrow we'll see how it rolls here. Raptors here. That's probably why they have a limited card tomorrow, because they probably knew there's going to be a lot of juggling here. Raptors here hosting the Spurs. The Spurs laying 10.5, total 232.5.
Yeah, you know, it's we get the trade deadline every season, so I guess we're more used to that than the all-time scoring record being broken, which it's been 39 years, right? So yeah, I guess that doesn't happen as often as the trade deadline. So yeah, I expect that to steal a little bit of the headlines this week. But yeah, still definitely a lot of talks around these Raptors here, especially around their superstars. A lot of trade talk around those guys. But as you said, they're still all here going up against the San Antonio team, which I had a little trivia for you. Has the team ever not been favored during a whole season on the road? Because I don't. The Spurs, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think have been dogs in every single road game this season, and then they're missing a lot of players tonight too. Some bench players, but also they're starting point guard, and it's been a couple games now. But I still think they struggle out the gate here on the road against a team that's been much better at home. The Raptors are just, I have the number right in front of me, it's going now. The Spurs just 5-19 on the road. So as unimpressive as the Raptors have been this season, they have been a lot better than these Spurs. And it's a big number to lay here full game, but I'll be looking at these Raptors to get off to a good start, and I'll lay the 3.5 or so in the first quarter. And full game, I probably would kind of. It's tough, honestly. That's a lot of points for me. That's why I'm a lot more comfortable on this first quarter than the full game, because laying double digits, I don't do that lightly either. But I do think they at least get off to a good start. And again, I'm not in a rush to take the 10 points either with the Spurs here. So no real opinion on the full game, but I do like the Spurs in the first quarter. The Raptors in the first quarter.
And it likes the Raptors here in the first quarter in this one here, laying the 3.5 in this spot. This Raptors team, they've had definitely some ups and downs this year, and not meeting expectations. Obviously, when you look at the record there, it's not been good. 25-30, much more expected from his team, especially when you're dealing with Anunoby, Van Fleet, Trent, Barnes, Siakam. That they should be doing better. Of course, we know what the Spurs are all about, right? They're looking at the draft for next season, and they do have a laundry list of injuries: Dedmon, Jones, Langford, Sokan, Vassell. Vassell's been one of their scorers. He's out this game, and of course, with Toronto, it's kind of that defensive style now. When they started the season, that's what they banked on. Remember that they were supposed to be the team that upset Philadelphia last year. I remember that first round. They're the one team that played defense, couldn't hang with the Sixers. They got pounded, and again, we saw them with that defensive style, having struggling shooting the basketball, and now we're starting to see a lot of high-scoring games with this Raptors team. They seem to be playing up and down, knowing that if we're going to try and attract free agents, if we're going to try and create some, create a trade with a team, with another team, we got to start getting more modern with our offense and start trying to get that shooting percentage up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've seen the whole league shift towards more of the 3 points, and of course every sport honestly has shifted more towards offense, with the defenses being very limited in what they can do anymore. But defense you still need defense to win games, but it does take a little bit of offense to cover double-digit lines as well. So that's why I'm more concerned with the full game line here. Although they should produce enough to cover this line, but will they? I'm not so sure. And again, these Spurs still have families to go home to, so they don't necessarily want to get blown out every night. So not going to necessarily lay double digits consistently.
With the Spurs, the way I look at it, if I think they have a shot at covering, I just play it over. That's the way to go with them. It's just because sometimes they cover games because they cover these big spreads because they just get into this up and down offensive, crazy, wild, free-wheeling game. They don't play a lick of defense. Their interior defense is terrible. I mean, you can get inside against them very easily. Like I've always joked about watching the Spurs play defense. It looks like they can't afford to pay the fine for a flagrant foul the way they play defense. I mean, they don't even get near the opponent. So here we go, Raptors. First quarter later, 3.5 against the Spurs. This one will have a start time 7:40 Eastern time. All right, Al Ninos. Let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Premium for tonight's action. Let's get the Al Ninos up here. Here we go, Al Ninos. Tonight we got the NBA on the board as well as college basketball, NHL. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
I got some NBA and some one play in the NHL. I got a 3-pack in the NBA and a couple extra plays for everyone on the long-term pass as well. So make sure you grab one of those or the 2-for-1 capper specials.
So I get on board here with Al Ninos over at Pick Dogs Premium. He's got his NBA 3-pointer up there right now. That's his featured package, $39 here. Credit guarantee. Must turn a profit or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account for site credits. That is credit guarantee. Also an NHL play up there as well from Al Ninos. The long-term passes will serve you all 3, 7, or 30 sports pass. You get all Al Ninos' premium plays for that period of time you select. When you go to his handicapper page and you make that purchase, of course, use that promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. Add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Al Ninos, as always, great having you show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow. Of course, we can catch you every day with Wayne Scott with your video series.
That's right. Make sure you go check that out after the show. Smash the like button here. Go smash it over there. And we're looking at our biggest payout of the series so far. So make sure you go check it out tonight.
Yeah, big positive payout there over plus 1,000 there. So you guys want
it's plus 2,300 and change.
Oh, geez, so, even more. All right, a big one. There you go. This is the biggest one, guys. So check it out. Get on it right now. All right, y'all have a great night. Al Ninos here on the drive-thru. Let's continue, guys. If you miss a pick, we'll recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Next up, Rod Zawacky. You find him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Been good to us here on the show. Bring him in right now. Rod, what's happening?
Yeah, not too much. Holy, some news on this game has definitely changed from when I put it in, and we're going to have to swing it a different way, buddy. There's no way I can take the Cavs in this game anymore. We're going to go with the under in this game. So.
The under in this one? All right, so we have a big line move as we are getting some news in here. It's some major news here in this game. No Garland, no Mitchell. Massive news. This game is now moved to 8. So we have Rod here on a change here on this one.
Yeah, we're going to go with the under in this game. Definitely, as I was sitting here watching everybody else give out their plays, and the news dropped that no Mitchell or Garland for Cleveland in this game tonight. And you look, Garland's been averaging 22 points a game. Mitchell's been averaging 26 points a game. Whew, that's tough to find 48 points worth of offense for the Cleveland Cavaliers to try to cover the giant number. It's only come down to 8.5, so I would lean to Detroit. But I think the better play is the under here. We're going to go, you look, the Cavs have been averaging 121 points a game, and as I said, with those guys out, that's 48 points less. Detroit themselves alone have been averaging 105 points a game over their last 3. And this is definitely like the first to 90, first to 100 if we're lucky in this one. Detroit 5-0 to that under in their last 5. Cavs 7-2 their last 9 to the under. We're going to take the under. 217.5 is where I see it at now. Take the under. Be lucky to get 100. Definitely.
Yep, under, no doubt. Do you see a big change here on this one? Cavaliers, Pistons under. We can now confirm Kuzma and Morris out here for Washington. This one tonight. Gallinari, Horford, Smart, Williams out for the Celtics. So we're getting some. We are getting some injury news here. So those are the two that we have now. We'll cover a little bit later on in the show, but those are just breaking right now. You can start to see the lines start to move on this one. Yeah, Cavaliers. You do have. Worth noting here. The key here is the fact that you do have Mobley and Allen in that lineup, and that's where you get the D.
Yeah, that's exactly where you get the D. Raul Neto is going to get his first start of the year in there, and he's got 2.9 points a game is what he's averaged when he's in there. So, yeah, points are definitely going to come at a premium in this one. Love the under now.
Under 217.5, Cavaliers and Pistons. This one will have a start time here, 7 Eastern time. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Premium for tonight's action. Of course, we've got action here on the ice with a couple on the board as well as college hoops. 9 on the board here from the NBA. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
And over at Pick Dogs Premium, I've got my $15 NHL sniper play. That's my solo play on the board in the NHL. I've also got a 3-pack in the NBA. Crushed my NBA blank check yesterday. Looking to keep it going. I got my NBA drop a dime play. That's included in my NBA birdcage, where you get all 3 plays going. Or a best bet, now's the time. Grab a 3-day, grab a 7-day, grab a 30-day. Join me for a little bit longer term. Best bet to you. Save you definitely some money in your pocket as we continue winning, having a big week. We got the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. Massive NHL card on Saturday. Massive college basketball card on Saturday. Huge weekend coming up. Jump aboard. Use that 2-for-1 capper deal and pair me up when any one of the other hot handicappers. And 2 heads are always better than 1. So jump aboard. Or Pick Dogs Premium.
That's right, guys. You got to go with Zawacky over at Pick Dogs Premium. Is $15 NHL Sniper is up there right now. That is that credit guarantee, meaning it must turn a profit. And the amount you purchase is credit back in your account for site credits. That is credit guarantee with the Rod's $15 NHL Sniper. Also, drop a dime player from the NBA up on the board as well as Birdcage is back, a 3-pack up there on the board here from the NBA as well. But again, as Rod was alluding to, instead of buying all these plays individually, the 7-day pass is a great one right now. Get all of Rod's premium plays for 7 days. That's all his NBA, all his NHL. Remember, the NBA All-Star break is not until next week, so you got a lot of NBA action up there. We got the NHL, college basketball, another big weekend coming up as we get closer and closer to March now. These games getting bigger and bigger now for these teams. And, of course, don't forget the Super Bowl pick from Rod as well is premium for Sunday. So get on board with that 7-day pass. Add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. You can add Rod with Big Al, with Wayne, with the Mitch, with Chris, your 2-for-1 capper promotion, your best value over at Pick Dogs Premium. Don't forget the promo code PICK at checkout, and you'll knock off 15% off. Right, Rod, as always, great having you show. Continue your great success. And, of course, we'll catch you here every day at 10 a.m. each time in the morning show. And, of course, your video series relaunches here after the break with you and Chris with that Puck Dogs NHL videos.
Yeah, definitely light schedule tonight, only a couple games, but tomorrow we got 7 games going, 4 on Friday, 14 games on Saturday, so definitely like and subscribe. That way you get notified when those videos are released, and you can check them out with me and Chris. We love doing those videos, me and Chris on the Puck Dogs, so definitely you want to check those out. And definitely tune in to the morning show. Always a good time. And if you haven't checked it out, then might even learn a thing or two about some carnival games. So
that's right.
Definitely tune into the morning show.
That is some great stuff.
Definitely tune into the morning show, and maybe you'll learn some things and help you win a stuffed animal this carny season. So.
That's right.
State fair season comes up.
You got to win those. Those girls love stuffed animals, man. And they love it. They love them.
Don't they? They love them stuffed animals. So you want to get the edge on winning your prize there. So definitely tune into the morning show, and I'll have some more secrets on winning those prizes.
Secrets of winning the carnival prizes there from Rod Zawacky. All right, Rod. Have yourself a great evening. We'll catch up with you again on Steak Friday.
Steak Friday. You have yourself a good evening, Tony. See everybody else tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning on the morning show. Rod Zawacky here on the drive through. Let's continue, guys. You miss a pick, we'll recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on. Time for some ice coverage here. NHL coverage from Dana Lane. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Pim. Does great work up there. Have you seen his college basketball numbers? They've been on absolute fire here. So you want to get on board with Dana Lane. Bring him in right now. Dana, what's happening?
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. All right, here we go tonight. NHL Center Ice has Rangers hosting Canucks. Rangers favored at 240. Total sits 6.5.
Yeah, I really don't like the side in this one, but the total intrigued me. I wish I had more than a couple games to look at, but I thought this might get to $1.15 over the total, which it has not. There seems to be a ton of money coming in on the over, but hasn't moved, so that's good. There was a 6 very early on, but of course that was kind of a weak number. That got bumped up to 6.5, but of course, if you like the game over at 6, then you certainly should like it over at 6.5 because it's the same thing. Goaltending matchup tonight, very important. Spencer Martin gets the start for Vancouver, and of course, Shesterkin will get the start for the New York Rangers. And this is a kid that's got a save percentage of .875. His goals against is at 3.94. And I try to look at some positives, and I really am trying to dig deep with this kid, but there is very few positives to be had. And his recent form doesn't give me any confidence that he's going to be able to have a good enough game to keep this game under the total. He has not won a game since the 27th of December. That was against the San Jose Sharks. He has not beaten a team that's over 500 since the 22nd of December against Seattle. If I said 27th before, 27th, 22nd for the Seattle game. This is just not a kid that has been consistent. In fact, he's lost 8 straight decisions. Every single one of those games, he's allowed at least 3 goals. In 5 of those games, he's allowed at least 4 goals. That's all we're going to need tonight. Vancouver's not going to shut the Rangers down. I will say this from a positive angle. If you watched Vancouver the other night against New Jersey, now there could be a 1,000 factors involved as to why they played well. But I thought they matched speed with them pretty well, which is something you can't just turn on and turn off. They matched speed with New Jersey pretty good. And I don't know if it's they hadn't played in 11 days, trying to show off for Rick Tocchet, who is, of course, a brand new coach there in Vancouver. Guys are inspired because the trade deadline is coming up, whatever it might be. But from a speed standpoint, they stayed with New Jersey pretty well. So that is a positive. And all we need to do is get 2, bonus would be 3 goals from Vancouver. I think the Rangers are going to have their way tonight. And, of course, the rumor came out yesterday, and I'm going to squash this, that Jim Rutherford, of course, their president there in Vancouver, said that he wanted out of Vancouver. So it's complete turmoil there. I don't think Rutherford's leaving. I talked to people that follow the team, that cover the team, have done it for years. It was totally blown out of proportion. But Rutherford's going to be there for a long time. But from a betting perspective, certainly when we're talking about the totals, the Vancouver Canucks penalty kill has been horrific. In fact, not since the first 10 games of the season have they been this bad as far as percentage-wise. You thought maybe they couldn't get any worse. And this last 10 games, they have been absolutely horrific. So that's another factor that you want to put into the equation when we're talking about betting totals. How good or how bad is the penalty kill or the power play? So that's another thing in the positive column for the over. So that's where we're going to go tonight. I just don't see Vancouver playing, especially with Spencer and net. I just don't see them being uncharacteristic. And I think sometimes we try to reinvent the wheel. And we try to look at these teams and say, well, they played really well against New Jersey. And it was 5-4, and they took them to overtime, so it wasn't over. But defensively and the ability to make sure there was a lack of space in the offensive zone, I thought they did a very good job. Better than some teams I've seen against New Jersey, who moves the puck pretty well. So I'm going to go over the total tonight. I don't really have a lot of confidence in Vancouver is going to be able to hold the Rangers. And this might be a game, Tony, where the Rangers get to that total by themselves.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. How confident were you that Vancouver can get 1 or even 2 past the Rangers? Because Rangers really a pretty good defensive team, averaging giving up just 2.5 goals a game. That's against the entire league. You're playing against one of the bottom rung teams in the league. You've got to hope to get 2. And if you get 2, you need Rangers about 5, right?
Well, they did create a lot of opportunities the other night against Jersey, so that gives me some some hope. And again, we're getting back to a team that should be inspired, not because they've played well, because they haven't played well. And there's a lot of guys that, are trying to show off for other teams come the deadline early next month. Brand new coach in Rick Tocchet. They want to say, hey, look, I deserve a job. I deserve more playing time. There's a lot of reasons why guys get motivated. We saw the same exact thing last year, Tony, when Bruce Boudreau took over. It was like the Billy Martin of NHL coaches. And everywhere he goes, he seems to kind of breathe some life into the organization until it runs out. Because what happens is you get a guy like Boudreau, who is a great motivator, but not very good X's and O's, and essentially, or eventually, that comes to the top, where you do have to be an X and O guy as well. And I think Tocchet's another one of these guys that are going to come in and breathe some life into the organization. So, hey, look, all I want out of Vancouver, Tony, is give me a good effort tonight. Don't give me what I have seen for the last 4 or 5 months. If you can give me 3, we're going to cash this thing easy.
There we go. Canucks Rangers over 6.5. This one have a start time here at 8 Eastern time in NHL Center Ice. All right, Dana, let's go over at Pick Dog Spin for tonight's action. So great results here in college hoops. 1,165 units of profit. That is all documented over at Pick Dog Spin. You can verify that by going to Dana's handicapper page over on the site. Tonight, a couple on the board from NHL. Lots of college hoops and as well. We got UNLV in action in Mountain West card as well. And B, what do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
A ton of action. We've already got 2 games off right now. We 6 games left. Trying to keep pace with all these guys that are just crushing college basketball. But 6 games left in college hoops. We also have Toronto, San Antonio. The total in that game is also up. So a little bit different than taking a side. By the way, San Antonio has never been a road favorite this year. In fact, they've only been a favorite 3 times this entire season. So that tells you a little bit about where they are. And of course, Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. Already got the total up. Not sure about the side, but definitely wanted to put the total up. So that's there right now.
That's right, got on board. Dana over at Pick Dogs. We're looking at the results here in college hoops. 1,165 units of profit. Dana in here with a college basketball bookie crusher, a 3-pack on the board. Credit guarantee must turn a profit, or the amount you purchase is credit back in your account for site credits. That is credit guarantee. Lots of visual plays up there. Dana's already in action with the Super Bowl premium play, Eagles and Chiefs. So get on board with that. A lot of individual plays up there as well. Instead of buying them individually, just get the long-term pass, the 1-month pass, the way Dana's running. That will take you to the end of major conference season in college hoops. 30 days of all of Dana's premium plays from the NBA, college basketball, NHL. Remember, college basketball will take you to around the 7th of March there, which will cover just about the rest of the remainder of the regular season before the major conference. Minor tournament coverage also covered here with that 1-month pass as the minor conferences begin around the early part of March there. So you'll be covered there for a good 7 days of that, as well as his Super Bowl play that's already up there on the site. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. Add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Dana, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again next week.
I appreciate it, Tony. Baseball's coming.
I know.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
I can hear the pitchers and catches already.
Next week, reporting, right? Next week, reporting.
Next week, reporting. College baseball starts on Friday, so we're going to have plenty of baseball until October coming in the next week or so.
I know you like to drive out to Arizona to check out those. That's a great place to go to check out the preseason over there.
Yeah, well, I thought about going to Florida this year because I hate to admit this because it's just been a lonely life, and I'm a Pirates fan, and I really wanted to go down to Bradenton and, start the misery early this year.
That's right. That's right. But hopefully, hopefully the Pirates have a lot of day games, so when you're on, they won't be on. It's rough. Yeah. It's rough having to. I know how close the Pirates are. I know we've done shows for the past several years, and these poor Pirates, boy, Dana really lays the hammer on them pretty good. So you guys want to definitely tune in this thing. They deserve it.
Listen, I know the show's not about baseball, but it's like we are in a day and age now where Cohen's going out and tripling your payroll and quadrupling your payroll. I mean, it is. I hope you enjoy all the luxury tax money that you're not going to put back into your team, because eventually Pirate fans and A's fans, and depending on where they end up, but all these small market teams, listen, you're going to get a bunch of luxury money. you better see payrolls going up. Because if I'm a season ticket holder and I see the Cincinnati Reds payroll at $50 million, which is going to be around this year, that's unacceptable.
Yep.
Don't come to me for season ticket holder money if you're not going to spend money on the team.
Right, no doubt about that. All right, Dana, have yourself a great evening. We'll catch up next week.
All right, you too. Thanks, buddy.
Got Dana Lane here on the Drive to Mighty guys. If you miss a pick, we'll recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Next up, Millz Young. I'll catch him over at Pick Dog Spring. We're ready to roll here with Millz. Millz, what's up?
How's it going, Tony?
Go on. I'm doing good. I know you're re-energizing with that energy drink there, but tonight you got a player prop for us tonight here from Millz tonight here on the drive-thru.
Yeah, you know how it is, man. Sometimes you just got to do the do.
That's
with
right.
that being said, we got a game going on tonight. The score I think set at like 238 points. You're looking at it a whole different way. Player prop to get you on top. Who? I'm only trying to do one thing, and that's give you guys some green. So who do you got? Jalen Green. I'm taking over his player prop. It's at 22.5 points. He has 21.5 points average every single game so far on the year this season. One thing that I like about that is he already made an implement from last year where he only averaged 17 points. He increased it by +4 right there. In this game, Kevin Porter Jr., the other guy that pretty much handles the ball all the time and, equates for the other amount of the points, he's still out. So, he's not going to be taking away any points from him. Jabari Smith, the guy that they got with the second pick, he's only averaging 11 points. So he's not really, that ball handler scoring guy that they thought. But the guy that they got later on in the draft, he's actually putting up, can't pronounce his name. I want to say it's like Sengun or something. But he's averaging 15 points. He's pretty decent out there. I like the way he plays. But when it comes down to this game, Tony, they just played the Sacramento Kings the last time out. What did he go for? 27 points. They played the Kings 3 times this year. The game went over all 3 times. What did Jalen Green do in all 3 of those games? 27, 27, and 26. How many 3-pointers has Jalen Green made in one game? 8. Why do I bring that up? I don't know, man. I just looked it up and I thought it'd be cool. But man, when it comes down to this, man, Sacramento Kings, they're not trying to play no defense. They're just trying to light the beam. So give me Jalen Green over 22.5. That's my player prop to get you on top.
Yeah, he had 27 there in their meeting a few nights ago. Jalen Green over 22.5 points here from Millz. This one has a start time here of 8 Eastern time, NBA League Pass channel, right? Millz, which everybody know, as we get close to the top of the average, we have going over at Pick Dogs. Pim, look at the numbers here from Millz in the NBA. 782 units of profit. That is all documented over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, we got NBA on the board tonight, as well as college hoops. What do you have going over at the site?
I got 2 plays in the NBA to get you paid. I got 1 in college basketball. So yeah, you can't go wrong with either of them. You can get that long-term pass right now because UFC is right around the corner. This week you got a stack card. But yeah, I definitely got 3 bets up there. I got 1 for 15 in the NBA, and then I got another 1 for 25. And I got a college play too. But if you want best value, get the 3-day pass. Go ahead and make you some money. Pay for everything in one day today so we can just get everything off from the top. I'm not trying to do anything but take the bookies' money, and that's it, man. Win consistently and keep everything right at the house. That's all we're going to do tonight. So go ahead and get my 3 best plays on the board tonight for the site.
Add your bankroll with Millz Young over at Pick Dogs Premium. Get on board. You see the numbers in the NBA. Last year's results in MMA were on absolute fire. So get on board with Millz Young over at Pick Dogs Premium tonight. A college basketball all-net single play up here. Credit guarantee up on the board. Also with a $15 premium play here from the NBA where he has been pounding the bookie in the NBA this season. You see the numbers. You can verify them over on his site. So get on board. You can also get on board with a long-term pass. That 7-day pass. Get paid here with the 7-day pass with Millz. Get all of Millz premium plays for 7 days, including all his NBA, his college basketball as well. Super Bowl pick that's come up here on Sunday's game, Eagles and Chiefs. And of course, don't forget UFC. You get those UFC plays from Millz, so you make sure you get that 7-day pass. You don't miss a pick from the UFC from Millz when you get that 7-day pass because you got the weekend covered as well as the weekdays. That's the way to roll. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. Add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Millz, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow. But remind everybody, tomorrow, right, after our drive-thru, it's you and Brad with your UFC show.
Yeah, man. So tomorrow, right after the drive-thru show, right after, probably about 5 minutes after, stay tuned because we're going live. We're covering the whole big card, the super fight, UFC 284. Volkanovski stepping up to a whole nother weight class to take on Islam Makhachev, who's on an 11-fight win streak, who just beat Charles the Bronx in his last time out. It's a big old super fight. It's going on in Australia. So, we're going to be going over the whole main card, giving you guys our best picks on it, giving you guys our best underdogs, and then giving you guys our money lottery pick parlay. So you can't go wrong. It's going to be right after the drive-thru tomorrow, Thursday. So that's the main time, man. Hopefully we want to see all you guys there because, we're going at it tomorrow. We're only coming for wins. Brad had a nice little parlay that hit last week. I think it was like a plus 280 parlay. So yeah, we're just trying to keep it going over here at Pick Dog. So I hope to see you guys all there tomorrow in the chat.
Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the show right after the drive-thru. It's Millz and Brad here with the UFC show. Make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications so when they're on, you're on with them. Get the plays in real time to get the best numbers. Right, Millz, is all great having you on the show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again on tomorrow.
All right, appreciate you. All right, everybody in the chat, let's get this money.
Let's get the money, guys. Millz here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here with the show, guys. If you miss a pick, we'll recap now. I've got my pick for you during the recap, and then we'll let you roll here. The game is going to start in about an hour anyway, so let's continue on here. Let's get to the recap, and you'll see my play here for tonight's action. Let's go. Let's get right to it here. Recap. All right, we started off here with Chris. Chris liked Michigan. That's already in progress. He laid the 11 against Nebraska. Chris was the leadoff man tonight. Mitch, Alabama, laid the 9.5 against Florida. Al McMordie, Loyola Chicago, laid the 4 against St. Joseph's. Wayne was on the Pacers the first half, plus 3.5 here against St. Joseph's. Wayne was on the Pacers first half, plus 3.5 against the Heat. Al Ninos was on the Raptors first quarter, laid the 3.5 against the Spurs. Rod Zawacky, note, not the Cavs. He's changed the pick because of the injuries. The injury was Donovan Mitchell out here for the Cleveland Cavaliers, so there was a change there. He's going under the total of 217.5 Cavaliers Pistons with the injury there to Donovan Mitchell. I believe there was Garland was also out as well. Canucks Rangers over 6.5 from Dana. Millz likes Jalen Green over 22.5. I'll be here on the Rockets, and I like the Kings here, laying the 8 here against the Rockets here. The Kings, a clean injury report. De'Aaron Fox in the lineup is going to play. That's the key there. When De'Aaron's in there, look out. Look out for them. Let me just go ahead and update to you. I know we're getting here near the top of the hour here. It's Garland Mitchell out here for Cleveland. Kyle Kuzma is out here for Washington. Morris out as well. For Philadelphia, Embiid still showing as likely to play. Boston, Gallinari, Horford, Smart, Williams out for the Boston Celtics as they tip off here about half an hour against Toronto. Kings and Houston, we gave you the clean injury report here for Sacramento. Porter out for Houston. Matthews, a game time decision, so we could have 2 guards possibly out here for Houston in this one. Minnesota and Utah, we've got Rivers and Towns out. McLaughlin, Gobert, Anderson questionable. For Utah, Potter out. Vanderbilt is questionable. Dallas and the Clippers, Bertans, Doncic, Kleber out. Tilakina, game time decision. Kyrie Irving likely to play. Clippers, just Wall is out. So the Clippers core are in the lineup for this one tonight. Warriors and Trailblazers. Curry out, Iguodala out. For Portland, Winslow, Nurkic, Baji out. Johnson questionable, and Eubanks is the big one. Remember we told you about Eubanks last year. He's one of the few bigs they have left because Nurkic is out and Babaji is out. Those are 2 centers out. The third center has some back issues, so keep an eye. Oh boy, keep an eye on this Warrior game because they're weak in the middle tonight. We saw the rebounding edge for Milwaukee that last game. Oh my God, they just crushed with Nurkic out and Eubanks having some injuries. Now we have Baji out. Oh boy, that middle is going to be paper thin tonight here for this Portland Trail Blazers, and that's a big key there in that one. All right, guys, I like the Kings here laying the 8 here against the Rockets. Listen, man, with De'Aaron Fox in there, really confident about with this team in this spot. I know they're a little bit more in the defensive, play better defense on the road, but I think you're facing these Rockets. These Rockets have lost 6 of 8 at home, giving up 115 points per 100 possessions while scoring 109 per 100. And these Rockets, they're last in turnovers at home, 22nd home defensive rating. The Kings, well, they've played well on the road of late here, scoring 118 points per 100 possessions, while they're giving 116 per 100. But again, they're facing the Rockets here. They just pounded them. I'll come back again here with this Sacramento Kings team. All right, that's going to do it here for the drive-thru, guys. Make sure you tune in again tomorrow here live at 6 p.m. each time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring our cappers in from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place, and we'll give out live free plays for you for the games in prime time. Don't forget, it always gets started every day in the morning show, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Mitch, Chris, Zawacky with that morning show. Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. Benny Tool show is mixed in there as well. And don't forget the Puck Dogs with their video series. You got Chris and Rod with those NHL picks, firing them in on the channel. So check those out as well. We got Ron Romanelli's bank shot video, college basketball, his handful of games that he gives out every day. Jay's jam session, NBA picks, every game on the board. We got Javon's video of the day. The parlay, three-legged parlay, prop parlay from Wayne and Al Ninos. And of course, they just shot the NFL show Super Bowl picks from both Mitch, Jay, and McMordie, now archived on the channel. Just shot a few hours ago, so check it out there if you would. All right, that's going to do it for our show tonight. Let's go ahead and bring in our crew for tonight. We're going to wait goodbye to you guys. You guys have a great evening, and we'll